Okay folks, in this video I'm going to tell you everything I know about making cakes. So it's not going to be a long video, but I hope to get some details out there that I was not able to find by researching the topic myself on the internet. A lot of people cover some parts of the process, but not the whole thing. So in this video I hope to at least show you the details that I've picked up throughout the whole process. So the first step is just to mix up some cake batter. And I've got the recipe and the link in the description there. This I got off Recipes Are, and it's just a basic chocolate cake. And you can mix it up in any order. It's very easy. So I'm just going to do that, and we'll be back in a minute. Okay, we're back, and we have the cake batter all mixed up here. When I said earlier you can mix these in any order, I of course meant that the dry ingredients should be mixed first, but you can put all the liquid ingredients in afterwards and just mix it all up at once. It's pretty easy, and it's a very thin batter. It's really pretty thin. Okay, so the next step is to prep the pan. Another note, definitely buy these kind of pro aluminum cake pans. I use springform pans, and they don't really work that well because you end up with a ridge on the cake that has to be filled with frosting later. So get cake pans that are square on the edge and aren't springform. They're just solid. And I like the thin ones better because they cook quickly, and you're going to end up stacking anyway. So you may as well get the thin pan and do it that way. So what we can do here to help it cook more evenly is, this is a strip of bath towel that I cut and soaked in water, and what we can do, wrap this around the edge of the pan. They also sell these as baking aids in craft stores and such, and they're a little bit more professional looking than this, but this works too. And then just use a pin. So the idea is that the wet towel will help keep the pan a little bit cooler on the outside and help it to cook more evenly. Okay, and now some people put Crisco or butter and then flour the inside of the pan. And I recently found this technique of using like a pre-made cake release mixture. And this is a half cup of Crisco, a half cup of flour, and a quarter cup of oil. And then you can just brush it in there, and it's a little bit easier to get a thick layer of the release, and so you'll be sure that the cake won't stick to the pan. And I think we are ready to pour this cake batter in there. Fill the pan up about halfway, maybe 2/3 full, but not more than that. Let's see how much we get here. Well, actually, this might be the entire batch here. Okay, fair enough. So that's a well-filled pan. We got this thing set, so we'll put this in the oven and cook for about 35 minutes. Okay, so here we are. This is the first cake, and as you can see, it's actually not bad. It's got this kind of big dip in the middle there, but for the most part, it's reasonably flat on the top. You can kind of see that, not so bad. When it first came out of the oven, it was pretty high. This thing was actually a little dome, and it fell. And it's been sitting out here for maybe 10 or 20 minutes, so it's still pretty warm, but I can hang on to it. It's probably about, I don't know, 100 degrees or something F. And you can kind of see that the cake is pulled away from the pan, which is good. This means it'll probably come out nice and easily. So let's see it. No? There we go. Uh-oh. So we did have a little bit of cake stuck in the pan there. Maybe a little more release next time, especially on the edges. So I was able to scoop out that broken piece out of the pan, and what I'll do is after I make some buttercream frosting, I'll kind of cement that back in there. Look at that, it'll be as good as new. You can hardly see the repair. And then we'll have that nice continuous clean edge so that the cake will have a nice top to it. Or who knows, if the next cake comes out better, and it probably will, I'll use this as the bottom and then use the next cake as the top. Okay, and here's our second cake. This one came out a bit more level than the first. Look at that, it's almost perfect. And I'm not going to wait as long this time to try to get it out either, so maybe while the shortening is still hot in there or something, maybe. Oh, look at that, that's the way to go. So maybe only wait about 10 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes to get the cake out. If you wait too long, maybe that's bad too. I don't know. Still learning myself. Okay, so now that the cakes are cooling, it's time to make some buttercream frosting, and we can use this to, glue parts of the cake together, and also to smooth the outside, so when it comes time to put the fondant on, there'll be a nice smooth surface for it to cling to. So this is again another recipe off Recipe Czar, and I've got the link in the description. Don't melt the butter. If you're in a hurry and your butter is cold, put it in a ceramic dish and microwave it on low power, and keep mashing it with a fork to keep it all mixed up. If it melts and turns yellow liquid, that's not going to work. It still has to be firm enough so that you can sort of chop it with a fork like this. If it's too liquidy, your frosting won't turn out too well. So I got 2 sticks of butter here, and I'm going to put in powdered sugar and a little bit of milk at the end. Oh, and of course, don't forget the vanilla extract.